You are live with Dr. Chapa. Good morning, good day, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Remember, it's your life, your health, your choice. I know, it's a great way to open up any good show, right? But tonight we're talking about something that's so important, and I love bringing important news to each and every one of us. Notice I said us. It's not just you, it's not just me, it's us together because we're all in this together. The stress mess is real, and stress, when managed well, can be something that just is, and it doesn't take a toll on your body. Or when stress is out of control, what we find is stress can also wreck your metabolism. It can wreck your future. It can cause your body to malfunction. Your recovery will be in the toilet. You will not be able to function like you're supposed to. And every week I'm coming with you on a journey to live better, be better, and stay better. And I get excited about that, and I want more of us on this journey. So I ask, as we get started tonight, that you would share this message with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and let's have some fun. And some people go, Dr. Chapa, it sounds like you're a little over the top excited about, health. Yeah, I'm a bit of a health fanatic for sure. In the olden days, they used to call it the health nut. I remember growing up, there was a place called the Health Nut, and I thought that was pretty fun. And it always smelled like vitamins when you went in there. I wonder if that's how my office smells. I wonder if that's how my house smells. The reality is vitamins have been an integral part of humanity for a long time. And vitamins are not a fad. They've been a part of herbology. They've been a part of homeopathy. They're ancient old science that was swept under the rug back in the 1915 era. In the Flexner studies, you start seeing where standardization of medicine wiped the alternative routes off the market. Now, this is so weird to me because we live in a culture where we are continually seeing obesity. We're seeing people have anxiety. We're seeing what we call the hit on the American mind through overindulgence in medicines of psychiatric nature or ADD nature, some sort of I need to control anxiety nature. And Americans are living on 3 to 5 medications before they're 30, and they're even higher in their 40s and 50, 60, 70-year-old bodies are now being just run on chemicals. And they're finding today that people are not living necessarily longer and or not as impactful. So it's not a thing where I used to have discussions with different groups back in my college years that, yeah, medicine is still allowing people to live longer. That was true then, but people weren't living quality. And so medicine has a place, and maybe that's the case for you until you find a real answer. And that's why I come on these shows every week. I try to teach people living their best is possible. It's not always your fault. Now, you could be miseducated in thinking that the Tutti Frutti Fresh and Fruity is a good meal for you. And the reality is it's not. There's nothing in the Rudy Tutti Fresh and Fruity that's going to serve you. There's nothing underneath the golden arches that are going to serve you. There's nothing in the fast food realm that's going to serve your body to be its best and to perform its best day in and day out. And that's one of the things that we are all up against, and no one gets out of here alive. We all have to deal with this issue. The stress mess comes in the fact that when we have disruption beyond the point of the body to keep up with, you start seeing the body crash and burn. And that looks like sleep issues. Looks like cravings. That looks like belly fat. Not that I want to pick on anybody, but how many people deal with some of those things? And put them in the comments below. Yeah, I've dealt with that. Oh yes, I've dealt with that. What if it's headaches? Did you know adrenal glitches can be a headache problem? And we're going to talk about that tonight, because when you get excited, as I am, about health and wellness and become the health nut for your own future, your own kid's future, you're in for a treat. I got a message from my daughter this week, 20 years old, living on her own. She goes, Dad, you've been teaching us this stuff for our whole lives. And in the old days, I didn't feel like I needed to pay as much attention to food labels. You did that work for me. I didn't feel like I needed to take my vitamins every day because I felt okay. Now, as I'm an adult, I want my mind working. I want to look at these labels. I understand that when I'm starting to get educated about the reality of food is medicine and medicine is food, I start realizing that what I put in my body matters. And wow, I didn't spark that conversation. It was a very out of the blue type of conversation through text, and I just couldn't be happier and more excited, because teaching our children the generational blessing of living well allows our children to go onward, upward, goodward, and Godward. And that's a blessing Just like money to pass on, healthy practice and living is also a gift to pass on. So what gift are you passing on to the next generation? Because there's people that love you, people that need you, people that are looking for you for guidance, growth, and development. So I know that's quite a winded intro, but I just really believe that somebody needed to hear that and be encouraged to go out and make this work. So we're going to be talking about stress and the mess that people find themselves often these days. So without further ado, if you have an issue waking up in the morning, you have a cortisol problem. What is cortisol? Cortisol is a hormone that is produced when your blood sugar drops, your stresses go up, it's a very catabolic hormone. It's very destructive in its nature, and it's a stress hormone, right? If you have unregulated or dysregulated or out of control blood sugar, you have a cortisol problem. But when cortisol rhythms break down, your inflammation isn't in check anymore, and you're more apt to be inflamed. And what does that look like? Again, that could be swelling in your body, that could be swelling in your joints, that could be sleep issues that are starting to be more routine than one-offs. When cortisol levels go up, they could have an initial beneficial response to something that your body needs, but left unchecked, your body is no longer getting help you to respond to stress. Now it's left unchecked and it becomes an inflammatory hormone. So does your energy, sleep, and appetite be affected by cortisol levels being out of control? And the answer is without a resounding yes, of course it does. And that's what I want people to really understand is cortisol is not a bad hormone. Cortisol doesn't necessarily make you fat, except that it does when it's left unchecked. And cortisol, insulin, and adrenaline are three interesting hormones that when produced excessively, unchecked, your body actually shuts off fat burning and turns on fat storing. So they does cause you to gain weight in time, but not all at the same time. So you have to just respect how the body operates. Nothing that your body produces is inherently bad. Your natural cortisol rhythms, highs and lows, are a natural part of you throughout your day. Healthy rhythm looks like high cortisol in the morning, where you need to be more alert, more focused. That's where people feel energized and excited. Gradually throughout the day, you'll get a dip in your cortisol levels and your adrenal rhythm starts to change. Lowest cortisol rhythm is at nighttime, and that's when your body's ready for sleep. Well, guess what hormone is regulating higher at nighttime? Melatonin. Well, that's why people take melatonin at night to try to put their body into a deeper sleep state. And that's oftentimes if you need melatonin because your adrenal glands aren't regulating through the day and you're missing the nighttime runway. You're literally coming in too hot, so to speak, and you're overshooting your sleep cycle, and that's why you can't fall asleep. And now you're reaching for the phone and you're scrolling through the night, or you're reaching for some sort of sleep aid, which, by the way, statistically, a sleep pill only gives you 7%, maybe a 12% rise in quality of sleep, but yet it causes more disruption and harm over the long haul than just fixing the underlying issues. When rhythm flips and you're wired at night, exhausted in the morning, and you're craving sugar and salt in the afternoon, or you're dipping from 1 to 3, guess what? That's adrenal disruption. And the minute you get that, boom, shakalaka, now you're in the game. So I want you to be encouraged that you don't have to, again, stay in this stress mess. You can reset your system. The last thing you want to be, and we've all been there, if you're a student of any caliber, if you've gone through stressful events of any caliber, you have been that girl that just got whacked in the back from one of your homies studying and cramming and dealing with this, that, and the other. So don't be that person stuck in the stress loop. I remember being the butt of a joke at a seminar. We need a volunteer. I go up to the front and I tell them who I am. They test me out and they go, man, your adrenal glands are shot. You must be a student. And I go, I am. How'd you know? And they go, ha, 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 ha. Everybody remembers being a student where their adrenal glands are wiped out and their stresses were through the roof and they were cramming always and forever. And it wasn't the apple sitting on most people's desk. It was what? It was an energy drink trying to stay alert, stay awake, and get going. It was the coffee in the midnight hour. The reality is stress leads to elevated cortisol. Sometimes those stresses are necessary because You got to pass the test. Sometimes those stresses need to just be let go of and give to God what needs to be in God's hands because we're trying to control things. Elevated cortisol will wreck your blood sugar. It'll cause you to be up on your blood sugar. It'll cause you to be down on your blood sugar. It'll cause you to wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the middle of the night, the wrong time to wake up, and not allow you to pull out of bed first thing in the morning when you should be alert and feeling your best. Blood sugar swings lead to more cravings. Now we see people dealing with what? Weight issues like crazy in this country. Diabetes is running rampant. Metabolic disorders of thyroid become an issue. So blood sugar swings lead to cravings. Cravings lead to poor sleep quality because now you're eating things you shouldn't be eating in the middle of the night. We've all done it. I get home at night still today, and I find that if I'm gonna crave anything ever, it's gonna be at the end of the day when I'm tired and I'm weak and I still got stuff to do. And so poor sleep is the last part that messes your cortisol levels up, and you will see that you will have an overproduction of, or left unchecked production of cortisol, and this loop feeds itself over and over, perpetuating into a life that is out of control. That's why they call it the stress loop, and it is a destructive place to be. So we've got to get this under control. Why you crave sugar when you're stressed? Sugar, I always think why do I crave sugar, or why do I eat sugar is one of the things that I used to post regularly at marketing events, and I would go out and tell people about food and tell people about lifestyle, and this one guy goes, yeah, because it tastes so good is why I crave sugar. And the reality is it does taste good, but it's chemically designed to taste good. That's the difference. And sugar that's chemically altered, and sugar, if you do a deep dive on sugar, which is not this class, but you will see that sugar has been heavily processed to a point where it is not what sugarcane was or is, and never was intended to be consumed at the rate and level that we consume it. So why you crave sugar when you're stressed is because you're trying to regulate your blood sugar, because the cortisol left unchecked is causing that ups and downs roller coaster. And when you get that ups and downs roller coaster, what do you get? You get up, I'm high, and I'm low. Did you know Darth Vader had a sister? Not too many people know about this. Yes, this is a joke, but it's the truth. Her name was Ella Vader. Oh, it's okay. She was real moody and stuff. She was either up or she was down. You got to watch her like a hawk. And oftentimes, probably she was on the stress roller coaster because her brother, Darth, was very evil, right? And so, hey, sugar can also be funny and fun, but not at the excessive level that probably many of you are consuming it. I literally saw a food log just yesterday. Donut holes, my gosh, Fruit Loops, Pop-Tarts. I am shocked because the person didn't really think that this was a problem. Then I saw a lot of artificial drinks like Diet Coke and Diet Soda. And they, of course, put the pink and the yellow stuff in their tea at the dinner table. That's sucralose and saccharin. And guess what, guys? This creates so much confusion for the body, and the body just can't keep up. I could sit on this slide forever, because then going into caffeine, people are looking for quick fix rocket fuel, which is not by design. Your body should have sustainable energy through the day, regardless of what you're putting, regardless of your coffee intake. But most people don't drink coffee because they like coffee. What do they like? They like the feeling that it gives them because of the sugar they put in their drinks. Most people don't drink black coffee. And I know if you're a black coffee drinker, you're just somebody that's drinking too much. So if you're drinking a pot of coffee, which I've seen that food log too, that person has a mineral deficiency. And when you have mineral deficiencies, your adrenal glands can't keep up with the stress cortisol rhythm, and you're going to crave sugar. So it's like a double-edged sword. Whoa. And then refined carbohydrates. This is the breads and the rice and the cereals, the pastas, the potatoes. And when you look at the refined nature of these ingredients, they are highly inflammatory. And when you put them in regularly, and you put any combination of these in regularly, the gap junctions between your intestines begin to separate, break, and get thinned out, becoming leaky. They call that in the digestive arena called leaky what? Gut. leaky gut. And if you have leaky gut, you have inflammation disorder. You have a metabolic crisis on your hands. So it's not a lack of discipline. It's a hormonal survival signal that you've got to pay attention to. Your body is trying to feel safe again. And by design, it's got some plans, but you can't sit here eating these bowls of sugar day in and day out wondering why your body is feeling wrecked. So this is such a good message for us living in today's modern world. Signs your adrenal glands are struggling: hard time waking up in the morning, energy crashes 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Come on, somebody put a check in the chat if this is you. And energy crashes 2 to 4 in the afternoon and you can't make it through the day, or you're reaching for candy every day from 2 to 4, or you're reaching for a soda or energy drink 24 hours and whatever throughout this hour time frame block, and you have an adrenal system that's struggling, guaranteed. Your adrenal glands, by the way, live on top of the kidneys. They're like little hats that live up there, like teepees. That's what those little, mustardy colored glands look like on top of those kidney beans in this doctor picture. So your kidney beans are your kidneys, and then the adrenal hats are your adrenal glands. The first gland, by the way, created in utero. Pretty awesome. Utero meaning in the womb. And when God was knitting you together in your mother's womb, the adrenal glands are the very first gland, even before your thyroid, before your pituitary and growth hormone pathways are activated. The adrenal glands are an absolute must. You can't live without them. You have to have them. So if your adrenal glands are working effectively, so are you in most circumstances. I could literally build an entire practice on supporting the glandular axis, from the hypothalamus to the pituitary, to the thyroid to the adrenals to the gonadal system, and those feedback loops back up the chain to make the hormone and nervous system become unified. And when that signal is right, all of your acupuncture meridians, your central meridian, all of your body's energetic frequency pathways begin to align. Super, super cool work. And how do you do this? One bite at a time. How do you do this? One supplement at a time. One good night's sleep at a time. One hydration day that's on track and on point at a time. You make little strides to improve the stress management. Anxiety without clear cause. Wired but tired, waking up 2 to 3 in the morning. These are all rhythmatic problems, not personality flaws. So these are realistic issues that people deal with, and they go looking for answers at the wrong location, because today's Western philosophy does not have a clue on how to fix adrenal dysregulation. They think if it's not Cushing's syndrome, then it's not a real issue. And okay, I get it. You don't have some advanced cortisol problem that is leading to a life-threatening situation, but it is causing your body not to have the energy, the vim, vigor, and vip that you deserve. It is leading to why you have symptom patterns that are causing your body to age on the accelerated aging curve and not on the graceful aging curve. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to wait until I get a diagnosis. You see, in the beginning, disease is easy to fix, hard to recognize. In the end, though, disease is easy to recognize, hard to fix. Which do you want? The ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure mentality? Do it early, do it quick, in, out, fast and furious, make it happen? Take care of yourself today, not wait until tomorrow when your body's wrecked? Or do you want to wait until you get symptoms, and those symptoms left unchecked live into diagnoses, and those diagnoses left untreated correctly, over-medicated, and find your body just on a spiraling polypharma system? Your body deserves better than that. This is your earth suit, and I want to teach you better. That's what we do at Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. That's what we do at Dr. Chapa Wellness, is we're always educating people to recognize that their body's not broken. It just has some glitches in signaling, cell signaling. And there's 38 trillion cells. It's weird to even say that. That's a lot. I want to know the guy that counts. I want to shake his hand. Who counted that? But the reality is those 38 trillion cells in your body have to be managed and regulated. And I just heard something recently that there may be an estimation of 70 trillion cells. So again, I'm not sure who's counting these cells, but apparently they're going back and recounting, and they're finding they miscounted the first time. But does it matter 38 trillion or 70 trillion? Get the message. You have to get them to work in unified order. Shared goals build unity. Sleep is a hormone repair time for your body to recover, regenerate, and get ready for tomorrow. What you put it through today is regulated and healed from during the night cycle. I'll oftentimes say that air is your number one nutrient. Sleep is your second most important nutrient. People go, sleep? Did you say it's a nutrient? And the reality is, oh yeah, if you miss your adequate sleep windows too often, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna feel like you are literally in the dumps. Your body is going to crash and burn faster on a bad sleep rhythm than anything. It's one of the things I've always, been most gracious about, in that in any major stress situation I've ever been in, I never leaned on rocket fuel. I never leaned on coffee or energy drinks. I always had a good cortisol reset system during the night. My sleep has been good. And I would say that, if I had to make sure I had a superpower, I want to make sure that I sleep well. Because if I sleep well, I can recover well, and I can heal well, and I can perform well. Boom, shakalaka. How you like them apples? So during the deep sleep, cortisol resets, melatonin rises, growth hormone repairs your tissues, and your brain detoxes itself. Bad sleep? Well, those hormones don't do their job, and you feel like garbage. So if you have symptom patterns, just put a little fire in the chat below, because I bet you, if you have symptom patterns that you weren't genetically born with, we could check your sleep and see that your sleep is indeed an issue. Minerals that calm cortisol. You see, stress burns your nutrients out as fast as anything, so you've got to regulate this. Minerals that calm cortisol are going to be magnesium. Every time I turn around, magnesium levels are an issue for people. I look at it in blood work. I've even seen it normal in blood work, but off in the body. They still have cramps. They still have agitation. They still have issues with their sleep. This is a problem, and magnesium is something that you can use to calm the nervous system. Of course, there's many different types, and magnesium oxide being the one that is more for flushing your bowels, magnesium threonate all the way to calming the brain. I have a full multi-form magnesium called Easy Mag. I have multiple magnesium products, but I have a plant-based one that is like a multivitamin that you could use that will support every type of magnesium out there and get the benefits of magnesium as a multi, not just focused on one particular area. Don't get me wrong though, I definitely focus on key areas. When I got to calm the body, I'm going after one path. If I need to flush the digestive system, I'm going after another path. So we use magnesium in all of its different types in order to manage and work with weak systems, and we target those systems and build them up slowly but surely. Sodium, real salt, not the junk from the little Morton girl, the one with the umbrella. She'll kill you. That is chlorinated garbage. Real salt, and I'm not talking anything that just says pink salt. People have this misnomer that just because it's pink, it's okay, and that's not true either. If you eat salt from the Polish countries or German countries or Indian countries, you find you are eating garbage salts. They're highly manufactured, chemically adulterated salts. So I just say, guys, don't just buy any salt. I use a wellness salt that is 2,500 meters pulled from below the sea from Hawaii and Australia. And do I have other salts I recommend? Of course I do, but I also carry a salt in my office, and I want this in your hands. You can go to shop.justlivewell.com and you can get access to some of our products. Look at our different magnesium products. And of course, potassium. I have an organic food-based grade potassium called organically bound minerals that helps regulate fluid balance in the body, stimulate and activate cardiovascular systems in the body. So if I can improve cardiovascular responses, that's going to also help delivery of nutrients to heal and repair tissues that have been damaged by what we talking about today: stress and cortisol, blood sugar misregulation, because sugar is very oxidizing, it's very inflammatory. B vitamin resilience. So we get in there and we will support your B vitamins at multiple angles. I wish there was a way I could just create a vitamin, and call it Megaplex or something, that would have everything in it, but there's no such thing. I know that people have come out in the years past and they create these one-a-day men's and women's vitamins. It don't work. That's not how it works. You cannot do it that way. You need certain types of things throughout the day, depending on your stress levels. You need different things. And for example, vitamin C, they say the only vitamin that cannot be manufactured and your adrenal glands must have and you must get from things like citrus. And so I don't know if I fully agree with that statement, but at the end of the day, we know that many people that have chronic infectious burdens regularly, meaning they get sick, every quarter, every time the wind changes, season change, we know that their immune system's taxed. We know their zinc's low, we know their C's low, we know their D's low. So this is why we do testing in the office. We can teach you how to live your best so that you're not nutrient depleted, that your stress is managed, and that your body can get through the storms of life, because no one gets out of here alive. We're all going to be dealing with this stuff. Blood sugar stability, cortisol management is key. This is where you've got to start making better choices at your meals. So proteins, healthy fats, fiber, slow digesting carbs, stable glucose, stable mood. When you avoid skipping meals, and I'm not saying that if you have a habit, like if you are rolling an intermittent fasting game where you eat from 12 to 7 or something, that's fine. I think intermittent fasting does some really amazing things, especially if you're already inflamed and you don't need this yo-yo diet where you're eating every 2 hours. You need to train your body, just like going to the gym. You got to train it to develop right. So skipping meals, though, is where you have no rhythmic pattern. You skip breakfast every day, then their first meal of the day is sugar or some sort of caffeinated energy boost. That's the kind of skipping meals we're talking about. So when you avoid skipping real quality food, so your first meal of the day should always be protein, and then you never ever get into high sugar breakfast. The whole lie of the cereal and breakfast industry convinced Americans in the grain department to consume 6 to 11 servings of bread every day. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And people have no idea. One lady told me, I don't really eat, sugar and wheat at all. And after a 5-minute conversation, I found that she was eating quesadillas once a week, pizza once a week, and Little Debbie's oatmeal cookies once a week. That's a ton of wheat. That's a lot of wheat. And of course, who knows what type of fake sugar she was eating, and which was high fructose corn syrup in a lot of ways. And so, people just got to realize that it's okay. I'm not trying to be mean and pick on your diet. I'm trying to show you where inflammation's sneaking in. Because when you control these spikes in stress and blood sugar spikes in insulin, all of a sudden your body isn't out of control in the cortisol department. And of course, avoiding caffeine on the regular that people are consuming day in and day out. So you've got to just know that you need somebody, and I'd love to be that person. My office team would love to be that team that surrounds you to take practical steps to reset your body's natural rhythms every day. Every morning, you should get some morning sunlight. Every morning, you should have a protein-rich breakfast. Every day, if the dude don't move, the dude don't groove. You should be out there moving and grooving and making it happen. Reduce blue light, aka scrolling on your computer or your iPad or your phone every night. A consistent sleep schedule, making sure that you're going to bed at the same time every night. Say your prayers at the same time every night. Ask the Lord to give you a good night's rest. And we know that prayer, breath work, and quiet reflection, journaling or reading with real books makes a world of difference to reset you, prepare you for the night cycle. Rhythm restores resilience. Oh, one of my favorite words, resilience. On one of the tests that we run in the office, 38 trillion cells, we can manage and look at cellular resilience. And I hope you've made it this far. I hope you stay with me to the end. I hope you share this message, because when you do metabolic testing, when you look at the different things that we're looking at in your blood work, you can find answers to your problems long before they become an issue. And resilience is one of them. If you don't, and the resilience levels are out of control and you're not very resilient, then stresses, chronic stresses, insulin stresses, damage your energy pathways. One of the things that sets people up for chronic inflammatory metabolic disorders, any diagnostic name of a thyroid issue or a weight issue or hormone imbalance or immune crisis or mood and anxiety focus issue, is regulated by cellular energy. And when your cellular energy is too busy fighting the inflammatory fire because your hormones are out of balance and your stress is out of control, this is what we have to help you solve, is help you start looking at what can you control. Because the reality is we're all dealing with some aspect of stress. No one's getting out of here alive. Stress is the silent killer. It causes you to crave things. It causes you to look for solutions through the midnight hour and burn yourself out. It causes you in the instant to help and recover, but left unchecked, it leaves you in a pit of inflammatory fire. This is why surface solutions fail. You cannot just do basic catch up on your sleep on the weekend. Doesn't work. Root cause healing begins at the cellular level, and it's every day. And I want to encourage you to stay in the game and press onward, upward, goodward, and Godward. So guys, you're not broken. Your body's just responding to overloaded signal patterns, and it's doing the best it can. I would say thank God that my system is still working like it should, and that every tissue, cell, organ, gland in my body functions the way that God created to function day in and day out. That is a great, cool prayer you could pray. Lord, reset my adrenal rhythm. Lord, stabilize my blood sugar. Lord, improve my deep sleep. Lord, restore my hormones back into balance. And Lord, teach me the path that Dr. Chapa is talking about. And you can take out your phone right now and you can hit this QR code and you can get tuned in to our programs. We have communities, we have programs that will restore your body back to ideal health. How exciting is that? Somebody put like a big, happy, smiley, celebratory yes in the comments for the victory of starting your journey now. If you've done it before, it's time to do it again. Don't think that it's a one and done plan. You've got to keep actively working on your cellular resilience so that you break the stress cycles. And you can do that. So stay in touch with us. Follow us on all the social media platforms. We're here for you. We are so excited to be on your wellness team. drchapawellness.com and Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center, or just livewell.com. You can find us everywhere. We're here to teach you, love you, back to a better version of yourself. So remember, Dr. Chapa loves you. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Share the message with your friends, family, and loved ones, and we'll see you next week.